Hey everyone, welcome back to my Go channel. Today we have another beginner video, but probably also might be a little helpful for slightly more advanced players, even up to maybe single digit Q. We're going to be talking about the 3-3 point and how we approach it and how we can respond. And these will not be full Josekis. These will be just, we'll be talking about how we would like to approach and respond. If you're curious about the 4-4 point, you can look at the video from 2 weeks ago and how we can approach and come near to that stone. But for now, we're going to be talking about the 3-3 corner. Now, if you are playing here as white with the 3-3, you're very much concerned about the corner and getting territory here. You're probably going to be played, your opponent's going to play above you. And that's just fine. This is less common. I don't see this as much in my games when I'm playing online, but it always used to kind of trip me up because I didn't know like kind of a reasonable way to respond. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, just reasonable ways to get comfortable approaching a 3-3. And also how to respond if you are the person playing in the corner 3-3. So to start off, we're going to focus on the shoulder hit. It's almost the opposite of what we often see with the 4-4 and then the approach on the 3-3. And this shoulder hit is wanting to keep white pressed down. A simple way for white to respond is to just block, either at c4, or you can also block the other direction at d3. And then after this, a good continuation for black is to also extend. And as you'll see here, what we're getting is white is building on the third line. This is the first, the second, and the third line. And black is building on the fourth line. Probably white should end up with some territory like this, and black is going to end up with influence, a big wall that maybe he can use in the future for his profit. So again, white starts on the 3-3. Black can do a shoulder hit on the 4-4. White will extend, and black can extend. And they're making black is, you can start to imagine white is going to be securing territory here in the corner, and black is going to end up with a pretty nice wall. So that's probably, if you are playing 3-3, that's probably the one that you're going to maybe first encounter. The next ones are quite a bit easier. Approaching from the side, and we're going to be talking about these approaches. So you have the one space low approach. That means there's a one space gap in between the two stones. We're going to talk about the two space low approach. There's two spaces between. The one space high approach, or the knight's move approach, or the large knight, or the two space high approach. So we're going to talk about those four, and we're going to break it down and hopefully make it very simple. So there's a number of ways white can respond to all four of these, but I would say if you just want to get your foot in the door and get comfortable and get started with them, the easiest thing to remember is to just do the opposite. So if you are approached, a one space low approach, you can do a one space low extension, the opposite side. If we think of this as a piece of paper and we were to fold it in half, this stone would match up with this stone. If we have a two space low approach, same thing, just do a two space low extension. So you're being approached on the third line, and your extension is going to be on the third line. You're being approached from this lower side of the board, you extend up the left side. a 1 space high extension or this knight's move, you're being approached from the 4th line, and you're pretty close. So your extension is going to be on the 4th line and pretty close. Again, it's kind of a mirror opposite if we were to fold the board in half like a piece of paper. And then we have the large knight approach, or the 2 space high extension, 2 space high approach. And again, a similar suggestion. Just mirror it, do the same thing going the other direction. And maybe it's helpful to see it with the blue line. You're making a large L shape, or the large knight. And then white's response is just kind of the same but going up the other direction. All right, let's go through all of those again. So if black approaches with this shoulder hit on the 4-4 point, white can just comfortably block one direction or the other. And then black will extend, and you can start to see they're both developing, white on the 3rd line and black on the 4th line. And from this point, I would recommend you just feel free to explore and start to see what feels comfortable and natural for you. And then later on, you can start to build on that and continue on learning maybe more the fuller continuations with the Joseki. But for right now, this is a good start when you're first encountering the 3-3. Or we also had 1 space low approach, a 1 space extension. 2 space low approach, 2 space extension. 1 space high approach, 1 space extension. And the last of these 4, 2 space high approach, a 2 space extension. So those are 5 different places where black might approach. And approaching at A, that kind of stands alone stands on its own. But the other 4 are kind of like this. I'm giving the same suggestion. B, C, D, and E. Whatever the approach is, white just responds with the opposite. And then from here, black is going to have to decide what they want to do, but that's okay. This should give you a good kind of start to get you a little bit more comfortable with the 3-3. Oftentimes, when people first encounter the 3-3, because it looks unfamiliar to them, they just end up ignoring it. And the person who plays the 3-3 corner frequently gets more than maybe they deserve, because there's this hesitancy to want to come close. So I'd encourage you to give it a try. Please subscribe to this video and keep a lookout for upcoming videos. Thank you. Take care.